Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Well, hello and namaste from Bharat. And I'm very happy here. I'm almost here for almost 2 months. Um, I came to our motherland, Bharat, after spending 20 years in United States. And it was a very tough call for me, but I think the entire last few years when I have been traveling to India, it was very obvious that the way things are moving in India, the entire world is looking at India, how India is turning into an amazing powerhouse, a global powerhouse for the world. So, and I had another reason for myself. My mother is little sick, so I thought this came as a blessing that I could look after my mother. And this is my philosophy for my life personal, that our parents, they look after us for most first 21 years when we grow up as an adult. So I think it would be my pleasure and honor that if I can look after for 21 years for my mother when she is in the old age. So that was another reason I wanted to come back to India. Well, I wanted to tell you about what I have been doing in last 1 month. And one thing which is quite obvious, I have been watching very closely not only the business world, but also how things are moving politically in this country. And of course, I had a lot of connection from my previous 20 years ago. I was involved into society and cultural things because of my father. So that was obvious that I had to come back and contact some of his old friends. And here I am with this show. The purpose of this show, NRIs, is very simple. We want to connect the NRI community who thinks about India, who thinks about moving back to India, and their purpose in their life later on, or maybe now, to come back and serve India in some way. So that was the purpose of coming up with this show, where we can talk to these NRIs and understand their motivation. And the main motivation, is it's been like there are people who are my friends for 30 years, 40 years, and they have been living in the United States, they have been living in London, they have been living in Australia, a lot of other places. And most of these people, at some point, they think about coming back. They always have India in their heart somewhere. So I really applaud those people, because I tell you what, the first impression I got when I came here to India, a lot of people still have that mindset. People who leave India a long time back, they have no say in what's going on in India. And it's a quite common expression, अरे तुम लोग तो इंडिया बहुत साल पहले छोड़ के चले गए, अब क्या करना तुम लौट के? Why are you suddenly start thinking of doing something for India? It's a very common expression I have been facing. And a lot of these people, and then I meet people at the same time who are saying, oh, this is very good that you are coming back, you're thinking of doing something in India. So they're also kind of encouraging at the same time, but at the same time, you're getting the impression from some old guards and people think that, oh, तुम लोग तो बहुत साल पहले इंडिया छोड़ के जा चुके हो, क्या करोगे वापस आके? But anyway, I'm here. The purpose of this show is very simple, to basically motivate everybody and ask those people who really think about India, what is their motivation? How do they compare the last 10 years of the development work which has happened in India in a different government, what they have seen in the past, and then how they see a future, especially when India is becoming, turning 100 years in 2047. So this show, we would be talking about your personal stories. We would be listening your views about India. We would be listening not only your political view about India, but your economical view, your cultural view. What was your motivation when you left India? How it was when you left India? And now when you want to come back, or even if you travel to India, what change do you see in your eyes? And this is very important, because when we talk about the change, we always compare where we live. So like when I came here, I started comparing everything. Oh, the roads are good, they look good, but they are not as smooth as we have in US. And at the same time, you start thinking in those terms that you skip. So over a period of time, I realized stop comparing. If you start comparing with United States, UK, or anywhere you live, it's not apples to apples. But think about a country with 1.5 billion people and how the resources are being mobilized. It's tremendous. And I was so impressed by seeing the change, and especially one change I can tell you, because it's going to be longer show if I will continue to talk about it. But the one change I realized, power of mobile. Power of mobile phone is tremendous in this country. You can pay your bills online. You don't have to go on the computer. You can just simply use your apps on the phone. And there's a tremendous amount of, if you want to compare something which is very eye-opening. In US we still pay 2 to 3% credit card fee. In this country, I realize you pay 0% credit card fee because they have something called UPI. And it is an amazing technology. All you need to know is the other party's phone number, and it is absolutely safe and secure. And as long as you use UPI, you can pay almost, $1,000, $2,000 easily using UPI. So if you go to step outside your home, talk to the vendor on the street, if you go to any panwala, even ice cream shop, in the restaurants, or even online, UPI is such an easy thing to pay. And I guess, and I heard they are coming with UPI you can use at an international level. So think about it, when they are now going to lend their UPI technology to international countries. So it is a radical change. The UPI mobile. So this is for how you pay your bills, and it felt me very good because in US we are not used to of reaching out to people for everything. Initially it was difficult for me, so I had to really talk to my driver, talk to my assistant, talk to other people. Hey, how do I do this? How do I do this? But once I have my own mobile number, all you need is your own mobile number, a local India-based mobile number. If you have that local India-based mobile number, very easy to use UPI. That's one thing. There are several apps. Phone Pay is the easiest one, but whichever bank you do the banking, they can give you the UPI. If you have a question about it, you can always write in the chat and I can talk about it. But so that's the one thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing I wanted to talk about was the change which I found myself. Thank you, my friends. Oh my God, my friends are joining from Tampa. Thank you, Ashok. Thank you, Sudeepa. Thank you, Sanjay, Sudeepa, Ashok, Manoj. Thank you so much. See, I know my friends would support me irrespective, but thank you so much. Let me tell you some more stories. So UPI is a blessing. If you come now, question is, can you have a local phone number or not? Probably not if you do not have your own Aadhaar card and PAN card. So I had my own Aadhaar card and PAN card when I was in India. I made it when I was traveling, but you can actually make an Aadhaar card for yourself, even if you are an NRI. As long as you stay, you live, you are a resident here in India, you can have an Aadhaar card, you can disclose. And then once you have an Aadhaar card, you can have a mobile on your own name. But even if you don't have a mobile, like in my case, I had a mobile on my driver's name. So, and then I could transfer it. Now, mobile services, coming back to this, it's very difficult to talk about the mobile services because there are all kinds of mobile services. I switched 3 mobile services and I thought in the beginning that I'm going to lose my number, but it didn't happen. It's the same way like in US, you can keep your number and you can change your mobile phone. So now I have JioPhone. Initially I had Airtel, then I had Vodafone, and now I have Jio. I'm very happy with that service. So that's another thing. About the mobile service. Now I have a very stable mobile service. Most of my alerts, actually, I get so, frustrated when I see so many alerts. But, it's better to be cautious here rather than feel sorry later on. Now about this show, let me tell you, I'm going to talk to you guys and share your experience when you left India and now you want to give back or contribute or even your heart things about India. Even you want to do some charity, you want to do, something wherever your heart belongs to. So we will touch upon all those points. But meanwhile, another thing I wanted to touch upon, and which is safety and security, because a lot of people who grew, who could, who stayed long time in America or somewhere else, they always think about safety and security first. So I think here is my take. Whatever you hear on social media or you hear on Twitter, on Facebook, you see all those images, nasty videos. They're very isolated ones. I have been on the road for last 1 month, going everywhere, even in my community, um, going to the company. Yes, you do see newspaper and you do read some isolated incidents. It's not going to be the safety and security the way it is in the developed countries, I can tell you that. But as long as your expectations are low and you keep yourself, you follow the law and order, you do the things you're supposed to do, you do not bother other people, you are safe by and large. The only expectation I have, if the traffic could be a little better, it is not as good as we have in other countries, like people go in their own lanes. I think that culture will come probably in the next few years, or whenever India is ready, maybe by 2047. So driving is a little bit chaotic, but I find there is better safety and security. I didn't have a chance to visit police or whatever it is, but I'm guessing so far at some point probably I would, but not yet. I did have a chance to visit hospitals, and it's hospitals and healthcare is my passion. So I really wanted to tell you what happened in the hospital. Most hospitals, no matter whatever the best of the best facilities you have, the crowd is chaotic. You can make the system. There is a system which says to everybody that please stay in queue or stay in line, but it's very difficult to control the crowd because of the difference either in their education or the way people kind of behave or express themselves. But I can tell you I was very impressed by the government department. I went to Aadhaar card and I saw the exact same system we have in US. So they gave us the token. They asked me to sit down on the benches, and they had token and the queue just like we have in US on the TV panels. And whenever there is a name or there is a token number is called upon, you're supposed to go and talk to the agent. So it is exactly the same system like we have in the US. The only difference is everywhere it is crowded. So you cannot change people. Of course, you would see the people who are here. So this is my philosophy. Certain things you cannot change about the country, but what you can change is your own attitude, how you look at them. So if you look at from a perspective that, hey, I'm not habitual, somebody is standing right behind you, and the difference is like 6 inches between you and him or her, that's how it is. I mean, if you tell somebody nicely that, hey, please keep a distance between, in a queue, that the chances are that person get annoyed. You don't want that. So I have been very careful, but I tell you, because of this situation, yes, you would find the things. As far as the road and infrastructure is concerned, I can tell you it is much better. You have highways, but in the smaller cities, so I live close to the city. I don't live close to the city. I live a little far, which is it's a countryside area. They have villages there, and within our vicinity, the roads are broken. And the problem is not that the roads, government doesn't want to build those roads. The problem is the responsibility. Who is going to build the roads? So right now the elections are going on. If there is an influential leader within the community, if you know somebody, and if that person noticed that thing, he can get it made quickly. But what happens is there are some patches So, and I could not figure it out. I'm still trying to figure it out, whom to reach out if there is a patch within the community where there is a huge, pothole or something. Well, potholes are not there. I think they have buried all of them. So that culture is gone. But there are some roads which are broken, requires repair, they are damaged. I don't know how they got damaged in such a way that why there is only a small patch in the whole road. But those are there within these are the pockets and the areas where we don't know whose responsibility is the responsibility of the central government or Rajasthan government or JDA or some department or local leader, we don't know. But yes, you would find plenty of them. Domestic help, and I can tell you that I have been training my domestic help myself. So if you plan to come back, have a nice home, forget about having a home like you have in US. Okay, it's not just that you can have 5,000 square feet home if you want, or you can build, but when it comes to maintenance of that home, like very simple, you can have a big, nice, exactly the same size home you have in US with the centrally air conditioned units. But at some point you will realize that those AC units will not work and you will still have the units like this you can see behind me. So, and that's how it is. I mean, you can't change it. But what you can do is you can decorate your home very well. You can find professionals, just like you find US online. I was surprised. I was looking for a plumber and I was looking for somebody who can install a big TV on my wall. And you would be surprised, Amazon provides all the services and their delivery is fantastic. No matter where you live, Amazon has come as a handy lifeline for me. I could order anything I want, just like in the US, and I found anything I want here on Amazon. Amazon has Amazon.in. There is a website. You can go on that. You can find almost everything. There's a big TVs, fridges, appliances. Even if you see, I have a bigger monitor here. Everything is available on Amazon. And of course, the prices are pretty much same if you compare with the US. You would find because most of the stuff is imported, I think. So the stuff is there, appliances are there, equipment are there, technology is there. You just have to find the way to source it. And I think Amazon is a great marketplace. Amazon, they give you fantastic delivery and installation service. The guy who came from Amazon, he did the installation for me, and I have no complaints. So that's about help, domestic help, and how to get the things done. Amazon. We spoke about a few other things. So now coming back to this show, you would have your own experience when you would start exploring your travel to India, or you would want to come for some time, or how to take care of your parents in India. And I tell you, the worst thing I find is in the hospital when you hire. So like there are services which can supply you nurses, and we try to find those nurses or help. But I tell you, they are not going to do a good job, and they are not going to do the job which you expect you want for yourself. You don't want the same thing to happen to your parents. So a lot of my friends who have older parents living in India, they wanted to find out how they can take care of their parents. You can find the service I use. It's named eMoha, EMOHA. You can note it down. But the kind of nurses they send, it's hit and miss. I was lucky to find one good nurse, but whenever she goes and somebody else comes, then it's very difficult for me to find the another one. And then I have to train that nurse all over again. So all of my domestic helpers, drivers, nurses, they are not going to be trained if you expect, but they are young, they are ready to be trained. So you should be flexible enough to give them like in writing, remind them again, all those kind of things. They are, small things, but you have to do it by yourself. And those things really works, because these young kids, or I can tell you young people, talent in India is amazing, incredible. And they do all those things. Whatever you ask them to tell, at least they take a pain to learn it. And when they take a pain to learn it, they do it very well. So you have to be just patient with them. Um, I know like my mom, she is not very patient with them, and she like screams all the time. And I tell my mom, don't do that. I mean, it's not good to scream on them. But I tell you, in India, a lot of people scream all the time for small things. But overall, the best part is food. So all the pain, all the problems, if you come out from the crowded marketplace or 4 hours of travel where you're stuck somewhere on the road and come back to home, when you see a nice fresh plate of food, freshly made Indian dal, roti, chapati served to you, that's the heaven. And I can tell you, I have been thoroughly enjoying it. Somebody else is cooking it. But here is my philosophy. You can easily gain weight. You could see probably I have become a little cheeky. You can easily gain weight if you do not watch what you're eating. So here is my 2 cents. I watch in the kitchen when she does the chonk in the sabji or dal, and then I tell her what kind of ingredients to use. So buying your own groceries is very important. If you do not want to do it by yourself, you don't have time, then train your driver or whoever is buying groceries for yourself, train them well. Limited amount of oil and ghee. I tell you, here in India, everybody likes to drink ghee. I don't know why. Where do they get this? But depending upon how healthy you are, take your call and make a decision. There are a lot of good YouTube channels. I watch a lot of YouTube channels to find what's the best way to cook healthy, but at the same time, don't gain weight. So there is a channel which I would like to talk about. It's called, I think, Sattvic channel. I watch it all the time. And they tell you how to cook without oil, how to cook without gluten, how to cook healthy vegetarian options. And all of these are available. It's just you have to figure it out. You have to watch it. There are much better YouTube training videos in India than we have in US. I can tell you that. A lot of good, healthy channels. So just watch them and you will get all the information you need. And most important thing, your neighbors. If you're nice to them, if they're nice to you, this is a blessing here. You go out, talk to them, they will give you all the free advice you need to have. Temple, we have a temple here in our community, best place to live. Go there whenever they have arti in the morning, evening, and you will find a lot of people talking to you and giving you all the advice you need. So this is my experience, but now this will give you an information how I want you to share your information when you come on my show every Sunday, 9:30 a.m. It is a fantastic time. Most people are free in US. 7 o'clock, my India time right now. If you're watching from India, you would be amazed the kind of knowledge, wisdom, experience people come on this show. They want to share and they want to do great things about India. They have dreams, they have aspirations. So don't think people who left India a long time back, they have no right to come back. No, it doesn't work that way. Now it's a global world. People have a right to choose whichever country they want to live in, and they have a right to love whichever country they want to love. And motherland, especially, this is our love for this country. We want to give back. And as far as myself is concerned, so my aspiration is to give back now with my foundation. My foundation is Son of India Foundation. You would see it in the link. The email you received, you would find that Son of India Foundation. We have some work here in Jaipur and Rajasthan, but this is going to be my kind of give back where I want to bring all these NRIs and connect them with their roots. So this is the whole purpose. Next Sunday at the same time, I'm going to invite one of my very good friends, and he is a doctor. He lives in Tampa. He has been living in Tampa for like 35, 40 years now. and he has done some amazing work, not only in healthcare in US, but also his foundation is doing some amazing work in India, especially in Jaipur. So I'm going to bring him as a guest, and we are going to talk to him. We will listen. We will hear what his stories he has, and what is his goal and motivation to help India. So this is about the show NRIs, and this is how the show will look like. Today was an introductory show. I wanted to share my story. I wanted to share my learning lessons, and I would continue to share and ask those questions with these people. Now, with this, I will take a leave. Have a fantastic, happy Sunday, and you guys enjoy. Take care of yourself. If you need anything from India, let me know. I would be traveling back soon for some time. But so far, everything looks good, and have a fantastic Sunday. Enjoy your rest of the day. Thank you.